I'm joined now by Robert Maguire, Professor of International Affairs and the Director of the Latin American and Hemispheric Studies Program at George Washington University. Professor, welcome to the broadcast.
Pleasure to be here.
So we just heard our reporter there, Stephen Gibbs, talking about how these interim governments can last more than just a few months, for years. What is at stake right now?
Well, Haiti's had a couple of experiences with interim governments over the past 30 years. Today is actually the 30th anniversary since the decline of the Duvalier dictatorship. So what's at stake right now is an interim group of Haitians who will get democracy back on track in the country. Under Martelly, the process of democracy was weakened considerably. There were no elections over 5 years. And now this interim government will proceed to put elections back onto track so that the Haitian people will feel more comfortable about them.
We've seen the Haitians protesting in the streets. They've been very upset for what they perceive as, election fraud. What kind of guarantee do they have that this new interim government will put democracy back on the track?
Yeah, well, this is the tricky part. I'm sure that in Haiti right now, there are tremendous negotiations going on behind the scene among the players. One good aspect of it is that Martelly himself has stepped down, and he will not be a part of this process. He's no longer trusted in Haiti at all. So what you have now is a coalition of forces, which will include civil society, religious leaders, business leaders, and the political leaders as well. But one of the challenges will be whether or not Martelly's people are going to go quietly in the night and accept this. There have been some reports recently of armed people roaming the city, of supporters of Martelly. And, Martelly he learned an important lesson in 2010 when he was vaulted into the presidency. And that lesson was that if you send people into the street, you can more easily get your way. So this is something we have to watch, and hopefully with the UN on the ground, this will be a peaceful transitional process.
The U.S. has pumped a lot of money into Haiti. They certainly have their hand in the pie. The UN has been involved in the transition. Where do they stand moving forward?
Well, I'll tell you, among the people of Haiti, the UN, the U.S., and the OAS have largely been discredited because they're perceived as having given unfettered support to Martelly. And Martelly is discredited. So it's important that the OAS, the regional body, the Organization of American States, came in and helped to support the process for this transitional government. Hopefully the US and the UN will do the same, and their support will be important, of course, because with the new round of elections, there's a need to pay again. It was stated that the US paid $33 million for these elections that didn't work out. So somebody's going to have to pay for the elections, and that's generally the international community. And hopefully they'll work with these Haitians now who have come together and seemingly are looking for a real democratic electoral process, not a farce.
There were allegations of cronyism and payouts during Martelly's regime there. Yeah. How do the Haitians know that this is in their past, that this won't be a part of the new regime?
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be hard to put it in the past. There are no guarantees. Haiti is a country that for a long time had one-man rule, and getting beyond that to institutions has been difficult. I mean, even Haiti's political parties, they tend to be groups that have clustered around a charismatic figure. The institutions are weak. And we saw that this time with so many political parties coming forward. A friend of mine called them sofa parties because virtually all their members could fit on a sofa. But there are some key political groups. There are some political leaders who have good credentials, and they've been in the game for a while. So there is some good professional leadership there that, if I think enabled to take this process and manage it well, there's a chance. There's a good chance, I think.
Professor Robert Maguire, we certainly appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.